Hello everyone, it's Lily. Welcome to the SDS-PAGE tutorial. You will learn about the process of SDS and how it will help solve a crime scene case. First, we need to learn a little bit more about transcription and translation before we jump into SDS. First comes transcription. Transcription is a process of copying a DNA segment and turning it into RNA. Then, proteins are encoded in the DNA. An enzyme called helicase comes in and unzips the DNA. Then, our RNA polymerase copies a DNA sequence into an RNA sequence, and then RNA moves out of the nucleus and goes through a process called translation. Adenine pairs with thymine, cytosine pairs with guanine, and also, when it's in RNA, adenine pairs with uracil. Next comes translation. Translation is the process when a cell makes proteins using the genetic information carried in messenger RNA. tRNA is when ribosomes section off the messenger RNA, making codons. Then, transfer RNA brings an amino acid and an anticodon and attaches to the codon. This process happens in multiple times with different tRNA connecting with different codons, and slowly the amino acids start to stack up and create a protein chain.
Hello, I'm Taliana, and I'm going to teach you about what SDS-PAGE is. SDS-PAGE stands for sodium didecyl sulfate polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. SDS-PAGE is a gel electrophoresis technique that separates proteins based on their molecular weight. Next, I will show you the steps to SDS-PAGE and how it works. This is a polypeptide, and it is made after translation. Parts of this polypeptide can be negative or positive. This polypeptide folds up into a protein, and like the polypeptide, parts of this protein can be negative or positive. To uncoil it, we have to denature it with heat. We then add sodium didecyl sulfate to make the whole protein chain negative. SDS turns the protein fully negative so it can move through the gel. Then, the proteins are put into the gel case. The bottom of the gel case is positive and the top is negative. That's why it's important for the protein chain to be negative. Longer chains move slower than smaller chains. Now that we know what SDS-PAGE is, how can it help us in a crime scene? SDS-PAGE can help with identification by comparing protein profiles. Many pieces of evidence in a crime scene contain proteins, and comparing length and molecular weight of the proteins could easily help identify people. In Ana Garcia's case, we can see if the protein profile of the evidence in the crime scene matches her or other suspects.
Now let's talk about what happened to Ana Garcia. When looking around the crime scene, there's so much evidence we can look at. Specifically, let's take a look at the rattlesnake, the rip in her glove, and the blood splatter on the floor and chair. It seems that she was working with rattlesnake venom, which is very deadly. We believe that Ana Garcia wasn't murdered, but that she died from the snake venom. The rip in her glove could show that it got caught on a fang, allowing the venom to get into her system. She could have panicked and fell over, hitting her head, causing her to go unconscious. We can believe she hit her head because of the blood spatter on the chair and floor. Her going unconscious would be able to give the venom enough time to work through her system and kill her. Many people believe it was a murder because there are many suspicious suspects and lots of evidence pointing towards them, such as Eric's DNA being at the crime scene or Dr. Opal not wanting her blood to be taken. This is where HIPAA comes in. First of all, what is HIPAA? HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This protects individual health information while allowing necessary access to health info. But who can have access to your medical records? Well, insurance companies. You and your doctors and public health agencies can have access to your records without any warrants or permission. But law enforcement agencies and family relatives and friends all need to give permission or get a warrant to have access to your medical records. For example, Dr. Opal refused to give up her blood, and she was allowed to because law enforcement needs a warrant to get her blood from her.